Hello boys and girls, this is lesson 6 and 7. We are going to make a pumpkin still life. Every artist at some point has painted a group of objects from their everyday life that don't move. That's what a still life is. You might be able to tell what that person likes to eat or even what season it is just based on the objects they put in their painting. Okay, so now I'm going to test you. Is this a still life? She's not moving. Oh no, that's a portrait. A portrait is a picture of a person. This is the Mona Lisa. Is this a still life? Those objects don't move or talk. No, this is a landscape. You can tell because there's a horizon line. Landscapes show big, wide open spaces of outdoors. Let's get back to talking about still lifes. All right, today we're going to look at 2 pumpkins. We're going to notice how each one is different. They might have different stems, different shapes, they're different colors, but they both have sections, and that's what we're going to start with. And we're going to start with the smallest pumpkin using ovals at the very bottom of our paper. Start at the bottom by drawing 2 dots and then connecting them with an oval. Then I draw 2 curved lines on each side to make the next few sections and make my stem at the top. Then you want to show overlapping by only drawing part of an oval, and I made it larger to show differences in my pumpkins. Then I added my stem and some texture, and then I'm going to draw another pumpkin. This one is a really skinny pumpkin, so I drew a skinny oval, making sure that I don't draw on top of the pumpkin in front of it. And then if you have room, add one more pumpkin. You decide the size, but make sure it looks like it's behind. If your pumpkin doesn't fit, just make it go off the edge of the paper. Now darken your lines, making sure they're nice and dark so you can see them, because we're going to be adding some paint. Add some vines with a loop-de-loop line and some leaves if you would like. When you are finished with your drawing, you are done with lesson 6. Next week, we will be doing lesson 7. That's in the second part of this video. Second part of this video, we are going to be talking about using watercolor paints. If you do not have watercolor paints, you can still mix colors together to make your pumpkins look different using crayons, color pencils, or markers. So let's talk a little bit about how pumpkins are all different. We see different colors, different shapes, some of them even have speckles or stripes, and of course lots of different bumpy textures. We don't want our pumpkins to look the same even when we are painting them. So let's get started on mixing 2 colors together to make our pumpkins look different. Whether you're using crayons or paints, you want to put 2 colors together that you think will blend well. When I'm using watercolor paints, I add water first. This helps my colors blend, and in this case, I'm going to use yellow to make my pumpkin light. There were light pumpkins, dark pumpkins. If I start with a light color, I can always mix in a darker color. Notice how I'm not blending it too much. I'm letting the water run its magic and get the colors to move on their own. Make sure in between each color that you dip, push, wipe the tip so that that brush is nice and clean when switching colors. I'm going to move on to my next pumpkin. Water first, and this time I want it to be mostly that dark orange, maybe with a hint of some red, just to make it look different than the pumpkin behind it. Okay, so you can see here I'm doing my big pumpkin, my Mac Daddy pumpkin. This time I'm going to use a little orange first, but I'm going to use mostly red, and this is going to create a red-orange so that this pumpkin again looks very different than the pumpkins in front. Don't worry so much if you accidentally paint over a stem or a leaf. That's not a big deal. You can always add a little color on top or crayon. This one I'm going to make yellow and green, because remember we saw some pumpkins that were very different colors. Now these aren't pumpkins we normally carve or eat or see that much of in the grocery stores, but these pumpkins definitely exist. So I'm adding a little bit of water to get those colors to mix together. And now I'm going to paint my stems, and you can choose. You can paint them green or you can paint them brown, and I might even add a little bit of green to some pumpkins and brown to others. You get to choose. Now that I'm done, I'm going to go back and add a little bit more yellow to this pumpkin to make it look a little different than the other pumpkins. And also, if I was using crayon or color pencil, I might do the same thing. making sure that I use 2 different colors, adding a little bit of extra color here and there just to make them look different. I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Don't forget to snap a picture and send it to me in Canvas.